when did you start to notice that the page was kind of getting maybe beyond your expectations? Because the page does really well. And I don't know if maybe when you started it, you were like, oh, this is going to be some big thing. And like, I'm going to be able to build and create all these cool opportunities from this. When did you first start noticing that like this was possible, that you could start branching out and building like opportunities for yourself off of just taking photos and posting them on Instagram?
Well, it's funny. Cause I kind of like, I kind of knew, like, so when I started, like, I knew no one was doing it here. Like, I knew, like, I wasn't all the way confident in my photography skills at the time, but it was just like, motherfuckers are going to think I suck now, but then they'll grow with me, but I kind of knew early on, only because, one of my photography idols, the sartorialist, his name is Scott Schumann. And he does street style in New York and like, overseas and like in France and Paris. But I kind of saw him kind of brand himself and, do different partnerships with, different brands, like bigger brands, of course, like, Gucci or Lensburg, whatever. He would just do different partnerships with these bigger brands. And I was like, man, I can do that at a smaller scale, locally. And that's what I kind of worked towards. I kind of, and once early on, once I started receiving messages from my peers, like who were kind of like boutique owners in the city, and they were kind of in the Pittsburgh streets for longer than me, and they were kind of showing me love and what I was doing and telling me to keep going. That kind of kept me going. But I kind of knew, man, I like, honestly, on like, not on no arrogant anything. It was just like, I kind of knew that what I had and what I could just kind of, just brand myself.
Yeah. Now, at this time that you started the Instagram page, were you still doing the previously mentioned blog that you were talking about? Were you still doing that? Or was that kind of maybe up and...
Yeah, we had a good 2-year run, and it was just like, hey,
yeah.
But no, I mean, everyone was cool with it. No one was really heartbroken or anything.
So I wanted to talk to you about it because I feel like there's that idea of having, a Pittsburgh focused blog that highlights local entertainment, restaurants, clothing shops. That's not a unique idea. A lot of motherfuckers do it and it never fucking works. It's not like there's a lack of people to talk about, right? Like, but for some reason it seems like people in this city are not interested in gravitating towards something unless it's like one unique figure. And I think that maybe through like your Instagram page, through Keep Pittsburgh Dope, you found kind of a way to do the similar thing, but you brand it as like a singular entity. It's not like this overarching blog, and maybe it makes people more willing to interact with it. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, man. Like, so again, I literally, I brought up the sartorialist and Scott Schumann. Like, I literally just copied this man. Like, so he would post his streets in the New York, his New York shots, but then he would sprinkle shots of him, a shot of him in there. And like, every couple pictures, it would be him. And just so people could see who the fuck he was, and it was always like, it was always cool. Like, it was always him in the street with his camera or something, it was like organic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I kind of just followed that. And I don't know, man, just society and just like, I don't know, just, I don't know. It works, man. I think people just, yeah.
I think it's more interesting coming from, like, cause like the way that I was personally viewing your Instagram was like, oh, this is, the story of, one unique individual that is just out and about in the city and is just capturing life. Like there was a couple times that like I would like, so I was downtown every day and like I would see you quite often and I'm like, oh, there's that dude, and it's just like I wonder what he's getting into today, like fucking like look on the Instagram and see if you posted anything. It's just like you would just like, and it made like this like weird like mystery thing where it's like, like you're, instead of it just being this anonymous blog that's like anonymous writers, it's like you're there, and like me as an outsider, it's like I actually see you walking around taking fucking pictures all the time, and I'm like, he's really out here doing this. This is fucking cool, and it just makes it a lot more like it's easier to relate to it because like as like somebody that, I make music and do this podcast and all this other shit, like it's like I like seeing people actually working versus just like this anonymous behind the scenes figure that's like telling me some fucking restaurant's good. Like I don't fucking give a shit about this. Like why? Like who are you? I don't know. It's like I think that maybe that's just like a byproduct of social media now, where like people don't really care as much about like your art or your music or your photography as much as you. And I think that you found a good way to put enough of like your own personality into what you do, like through your descriptions and how like you describe everything that you're taking pictures of. And it's just very much like you. So people gravitate towards that.